Welcome back to another episode of the Be Who You Came to Be podcast. Today, I've got a special guest for you. He truly lives out loud, lives on purpose, and is weird as hell. You guys are going to love him. Frankie Russo is a wildly successful entrepreneur, speaker, author. He's a father to 6. He's an amazing husband, a great friend, and he's unapologetically Frankie. He's built businesses, battled addiction, and bounced back with his own mission. And he's a walking example of what happens when you stop trying to fit in and start owning exactly who you are, exactly who you came to be. The weirdness, the quirks, the flaws, the brilliance, and all. So today we're going to be talking all about the power of being weird, why it's your greatest asset, how to stop hiding your weird shit from the world, embracing your true self, and that radical healing that comes with it. So Frankie, welcome to the show.
Oh my God, you sound like a real radio international host over here. That was
Did you know that
I
was a theater and voice major in college
Man,
for 2 years?
great radio voice. I feel like I'm on a real radio show here.
Well, my long-term goal is to get on QVC because I would be an amazing host on QVC.
2 or 3 people on QVC.
I mean, not really. I don't know them well, and I've tried I've tried to pick their brain and so you're on QVC, and they haven't been like, we need to get you on.
Oh, yeah.
I would sell the shit out of anything on QVC.
They're scared you're going to take their spot. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't. If I'm Jamie, and I love you, Jamie, if you're listening, I love you. But if I'm Jamie, I'd be nervous. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to tear it anywhere near my people.
I do this thing when I'm at home and the whole family's around. I pretend that I'll be using a kitchen appliance or something. I'll be like, now today's special value is this amazing hand mixer. Everybody needs this. It comes in 5 colors. Oh, wait, do we have a caller? And I pretend like I have a caller. My mom loves it. My boys think it's weird as hell.
And if you call now, you'll get 2 of the extra things, and that's not all.
It's our special value.
If you call in the next 60 seconds.
And we'll put it on auto pay for you, where you can pay 25 cents a day for the rest of your life. Anyway, talk about weird. This is the kind of weird shit that I do at home that obviously—
You really are weird, Tara.
My boys love it. They think it's weird, even though deep down they love it. My mom, she is obsessed with QVC. She's got them on auto dial where they know her number.
No.
And they're like, hi, Karen. And she's like, yeah, go ahead and give me today's special value. She freaking loves
You're
QVC.
Kidding. You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. She is obsessed. In fact,
did you say her name is Karen?
Yeah. Karen Johnson.
Karen who loves QVC. I feel
now,
like you're making this up.
By the way, she's pissed about Karen, okay? She
said, I bet. The whole Karen movement?
It sucks, actually. My mom's a wonderful woman, and it does suck. So she said that she's renaming Karen a different name of someone that she doesn't like. I'm not going to say it on air.
Is it Tiffany?
No. It's not. Do you not like it, Tiffany?
No. I just always joke because when I watched have you ever seen the Crazy Hot Matrix video?
No, what's the Crazy Hot Matrix video?
What? Okay, first of all, you're gonna have to put the link in the comments. I'll send it to you. Basically, there's a matrix that however hotter a girl or a woman is, the more crazy goes up. And they talk about how you find the right, and then there's a certain area that's a danger zone where if it's they're a 8 hot above a 7 crazy, that's the no-go zone. That's your redheads, your hairdressers, some girl's named Tiffany. And the guy says that your strippers. It's don't ever go in that zone. And then you come down a bit and above an 8
your
hot.
strippers.
It's a whole strategy. It's freaking hilarious. How have you not heard of this?
I don't know, but I'm gonna. Will it rank you? Will I get to see where I land on the matrix of crazy?
Pretty much. I can tell you right now. I would say you're a 8 on the 8 or 9 on the hot. Okay, I'll just give you that. So
an 8 or 9. Oh, I mean, is that good? I guess.
Want a 10? Nobody's a 10. There's nobody's 10. Because you're plenty hot enough to be crazy enough. Okay, so you're crazy. I would guess your crazy is going to be on the 6 or 7, which puts you in in between the girlfriend and wife zone. Which is good. That's where you want to live.
I am a great wife. I am. I'm a great wife. I'm a great mom.
What would you put
do you know why though? Because
crazy?
I've worked on my emotional intelligence since I was in my 20s, and that's why I'm not crazy, because it does keep me from blowing a head gasket.
First of all, Tara, you're still crazy. When you get your husband on the line,
he would tell you I'm not crazy.
Really?
I don't think so. I can. He's in
then
earnings
you're a 5.
right now.
I'm going to give you a 4 or 5 crazy. Every woman is a minimum.
All right, here's when I get crazy. You fuck with my kids, You mess with my money. You do anything around my husband that's not cool, or our family, I will lose my mind on you.
Think about what you just said. Like, if anybody kind of remotely messes with anything
that really matters
I will
to me.
go nuts. I'm not crazy, but if you test me,
but like if you break something, or like I'm not one of those people that like blows up in public or anything. I'm chill about most stuff.
I'm telling you right now, you're a 5 or 6 crazy. I hate to break it to you. You just are.
I mean, I feel like you have to be a little crazy, right?
If you're hot. If you're not hot, you don't have to be crazy. It's you get to choose. And see, I didn't know this shit till my second marriage. I found this out the hard way. My second wife was smoking hot, okay, and is exactly what I wanted. And then I found out after it was too late about this crazy hot matrix, okay, and it was way too late. And she knows.
Oh
this.
my
My
God.
wife, if for some weird reason she actually watches one of my podcasts, which she's like already hears me too much, so she's like, I don't know if she's ever watched or heard a podcast of mine. But
my
if
God,
she
you
is,
are
she
killing me.
knows.
Okay,
She
well,
knows
we're gonna
crazy
check
is
out
a
the
given.
crazy hot matrix. It's just part of your weirdness.
Oh my God, crazy hot matrix is a given. Your husband, I can't believe he doesn't know about it. If you don't check it out, I'm sending it
He
to him.
probably knows about it. He probably does. I'll ask.
Yeah, you need to ask him at dinner. Okay, let's see.
Okay.
Let's see what's up.
Okay.
Yeah, and so anyway, depending on how crazy your wife is, you may not talk about it, but
You're killing
you may not
me.
want to mention it. So
I
may
mean,
be
I'll
starting
mention
some
it.
sort of
I'll
an
mention it.
interesting
We've been
little
married
thing
24 years. Like we're in it like we've made it this far.
Yeah.
Like I told him, I was like, we made it this far. Like we're gold. Like
right?
we worked through all the hard shit. Like we raised the kids. Like you want to talk about what hurt, like is hard. Like no one ever talks about how we will eventually get to being weird, but no one ever talks about how hard kids are on a marriage. Let's just talk about that for a second. Like,
Go.
you know who actually talks about it is the pastor at my church. Actually did this whole study. It's a big church, so like close to 10,000 people actually took the survey, and over time they've taken it. And so he has found that like marriage, starts to peak right after you get married, and then within the first year, like the happiness levels really start going. They start declining, and they hit rock bottom when you have kids under the age of 5.
Yes. Yeah. 0 to 5 until your youngest gets to 5. That is the most wildest, difficult time, no matter what. Our baby is 7, and thank the good Lord, as you say in Kansas City, at y'all's church.
But kids, they will mess up and I talk to people, they're like, oh my God,
they
I'm so annoyed with my husband. And I'm like, well, how old are your kids? And they're like, they're 2 and 3. I'm like, you just need to stick this out. Like, just trust me. Like, don't make any crazy decisions right now.
Yeah, don't make any decisions until you got an idea like that.
Unless they're like cheating or doing something terrible.
Yeah. 100%. Look, it's a really interesting journey. It's incredibly personal, and it's different for each one person. That's why, like, I try never to give marital advice or parenting advice. So yeah,
it's different for every relationship and every kid. Like we had to parent our 2 children very differently. Yeah, because you've got 6
when you
blended.
I had 3 from my first marriage. She had 2 twin boys, and we blended that up and then had 1 together. So we're the most extreme example of like my wife and I make it. We're in the 1% of the 1%. When you start breaking down, like, okay, second marriage percentage goes down to like, I don't know, maybe 30%.
You're just making shit up right now.
No, we looked this shit up. Now, ChatGPT may have made this shit up, but this is true. These are true stats. Okay. Now, they're ChatGPT stats. I'll give you that. But it checks out. So 25% of all second marriages fail regardless. And then if you have blended with kids, that goes up again. And then if you blend it again, we looked at it, and it's the odds are terrible for us. Terrible.
Yeah. It's really interesting because I came from divorce. So my parents divorced at 20 years, like right around 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that if they would have just worked on it a little more, I really think they could have worked through it, because what we saw was that they never, like, that was always that true love, right? They had their kids together. They were married for a long time. My dad did get remarried, and we just watched the relationship go from like, oh, this is, he was so happy, to it just like hitting rock bottom. My dad and my stepmom they've both moved on. They're dead. They went to heaven. Like, I never know how to say this. Like, they're dead. Anyway. Anyway,
they're dead. I mean, okay, get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, Anyway, obviously I miss my dad dearly, but we watched that relationship, and I think it was a really good lesson for my brothers and I to just really work on our marriages. And marriage is hard.
Yeah, no doubt. And like you need to have the love factor, which is not
Yeah.
that easy to find.
And the
Um,
friend factor. I think you have to be, I mean,
yeah,
I literally am married to my
you have a
best friend.
lot of
Like,
factors. You have a
yes.
lot of factors, but I think for me, yeah. So this is let me tell you how we got to weird. All right, this is
Okay.
actually relevant because
Okay.
I was not a love your weird kind of guy. In fact, I was the opposite. As a kid, I was always into stuff that like people, bullies, even teachers thought was weird. Which was like I was always trying to invent shit. I was, trying to make a time machine and a jetpack and a hoverboard, and I was inventing stuff all the time and trying to get people involved. So I was also this natural promoter because I wanted
Right.
to also be a TV preacher. So back in the day, I used to be a churchy like you, Tara, and
Yeah.
so I wanted to be a TV preacher back when TV preachers were, we didn't know they were stealing airplanes and shit. Plus, I was this mad scientist. Then I wanted to be a cowboy, and I wanted to be an astronaut all at the same time. So when kids are kind of just wanting to play soccer or like
Right.
GI Joes, and you're this like weirdo, you just don't fit in. And for a while, my mom was super supportive of the weird. Yeah, she did. We didn't call it that because she'd be like, "Oh
She
my
called
God,
it
you weren't weird."
creative,
She just,
ambitious.
or she called it your genius. And so
Oh, genius.
I was
You're like Elon Musk,
well, no,
but not that weird.
well, who knows? I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I am that weird, but the main thing about it is that I think we're all geniuses. Like,
Right.
and by the end of this session, I'm going to prove that. But for now, let's just talk about how we got there. So anyway, weird became this negative thing for me, like it does for a lot of people,
Right.
Because it's like
Well,
you need to
well,
stop
we
being
are
like that.
wired. We want to fit in. We want to like acceptance is a human need. Yes.
We're not just wired it; we are conditioned through it as well.
Right. I think especially boys, even more so. Like I feel like boys, they're supposed to fit some mold, right? And when they don't
100%.
fit the mold, which lately has been like, girls too.
Yeah,
You're right.
who are
I'm
we
raising
kidding? There's
boys,
like
so
a
I'm just thinking
million
about.
women conferences. I mean, isn't women conferences part of your business? Come on now.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
But
trust
I guess
me,
the reason I was
there's
thinking
an
about boys.
expectation around women. Bless y'all's
I
heart.
know. I think the reason about boys is because I've raised these two boys. Yeah. And I've seen how, especially schools, want the boys to be almost like little soldiers. Like, right. They're not rambunctious. They don't talk. They don't, they can't, God forbid, they can't play cops and robbers and like all the stuff. Right. Like, so they have like emasculated, right? That's the word. The boys.
I think so.
to where they weren't supposed to be like everything like boys are.
That's right.
Like that boys are.
Yeah,
Now,
everything's kind of
same
come
with
to the
girls.
middle.
Yes. And girls, they're the same way too, right? I mean, it's just I think it's different.
Well, girls right now is talked about more. Yeah, it's talked about more right now because there's this like kind of like more feminist strong movement that's been more mainstream, and women haven't had as many rights, whereas men have. So men have kind of gone this other odd direction into like the middle a little bit out of somewhat culture.
Right. Less alpha.
Yes, and so look, at the end of the day, the thing that is innate in us is the fact that we need connection. What's not innate in us is what gets conditioned, which is the pretense, which is the expectations, which is the conditioning that what you need to be focused on is not that. So not everybody was as maybe weird as me at 5, but one of the things I've found is that every single person at 5 or 6 years old was into something that they're not into anymore, or they're into something that once they got into school and they started getting conditioning, they realized that's ridiculous. That's for kids. You had permission to do that at 5 or 6. Now you don't.
Right.
Like I talk about this
right.
study all the time. And again, this is not a ChatGPT study, so it's a little better than that. And some people like to crap on this study, but I don't really care because it checks out. Where in 1969, you may have seen it, there was a test that was done, was created, and it was created for NASA. And they were U.S. was trying to win the space race. They were trying to stay the superpower, yada, yada, yada. So they were like, how do we find the most genius, most divergent, creative, imaginative folks in the world? So they made this test to give to the future engineers and astronauts and all that. Anyway, the test was so simple, they decided to give it to kids.
Right.
So they gave it to 1,600 kids. They were 5 years old to see what level of this genius they had, right? So what's this level? Out of the 1,600 kids, it was like 98%. And so they were like, wow, that's amazing. Because they were trying to figure out, is this taught? Is this, do you born with it? And it's a lot less of that it's taught. Like and also it was like everybody's born with it because they tested them again at 10 because they got so excited and it went to 30.
Right. People lose their creativity and,
and
individuality and authenticity because they are trying to fit in.
Because it got conditioned out of them. But their genius got conditioned out of them. So here's the thing that happened for me, because 100,000 adults took the test over the course of the last 30 years, and it was 2%. Now, these are the same adults that at one point were 5 or 6. So this started out for me at 2017. I got a divorce. And it was mainly because I had been living in this pretense. I had mastered the pretense. I had mastered making everyone approve of me. I mean, mastered it. I had 12 versions of me. I had literally just written a book called Master Your Purpose. I was 35 and thought I had figured it out. And what I thought I figured out was that you be whoever you need to be to whatever room you're in.
Right.
And I fucking missed it.
That sounds exhausting.
Dude, I had a golden pedestal. And the next year, after releasing my first book and thinking that I had figured it all out, I realized I don't know shit. I burnt the golden pedestal to the ground. I fucking got divorced and realized I didn't like my weird. I sure shit didn't love my weird. And I had been hiding it, and that was the problem. And keep in mind, I had already done all this work around why and purpose. I grew up helping homeless people with my parents. Like, so I knew these things, right? It's why I know about all your church stuff, because like that's what I was into as a kid. And then I kind of got like burnt out when my dad got kicked out of his own mission when I'm 18 years old, right? So we were poor, and he gets kicked out of his mission. So in my 20s, I said, fuck this shit. And so I made alcohol and drugs my God and money my God. I said, I have one objective, and that is that I'm never going to be poor, which is a terrible singular objective, especially for a 20-year-old in the middle of like the
Were you in college?
Yes, but I was in college, and I started my own business in the mortgage business.
Oh, okay.
Pre-2008.
Yeah, that was a big time in the business.
Pre-2008, literally anybody could get a loan. So I'm 21 years old, have been poor my whole life, and all of a sudden now I have a sports car. I'm making $40,000, $50,000 a month. I'm in this small town, and everybody's coming to work for me. All my friends. I mean, literally Lafayette, Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
Buying everybody else's drugs, like the whole thing. Like this, the typical scenario.
Right.
That was
Were you
me.
into partying when you were younger, like a high school kid, or was this like something that you came into?
No, it came
in your
later.
20s?
So I was sheltered. So I didn't start drinking and drugging until 17, which I found out in rehab is like super late. I'm meeting these people that started at 6 years old, 8 years old, 9 years.
I grew up in a small town, and we would go like get some natural light and take it out on the dirt roads when I was like 16.
Yeah.
And have a couple beers, but no one did drugs. Like my high school,
Yeah,
I know for a fact there really weren't drugs. I mean, I think some people like, smoke some weed every now and then, but I'm talking hardcore drugs, like no.
Right. Not like, yeah. And a lot of the hardcore drugs, like I've sponsored probably, so long story short, 2008, when the whole world melted down, I melted down with it. Mm-hmm. That was the first time that like
the recession,
my family fell apart. I lost the whole business. Everything went to shit, and I went to rehab. Mm-hmm. And that was 2008. So April 12th,
How long were you an addict?
Roughly 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Well, actually, I've been an addict 44 years, but for 10 years I was practicing with like hard drugs and alcohol.
Right.
I'm still an addict, if anybody's asking. So 17 years now, I haven't done drugs or alcohol. And what's
good for
interesting,
you. I you know what? I really admire that. Why? Like, what was the turning point?
Yeah, so for me, it was the same turning point as everyone else. Everything goes to shit. So nobody stops drinking or doing drugs, especially if you like them. And I just want to put this disclaimer out there. I love alcohol and I love drugs. Like, absolutely fucking love them. So if anybody's out there, this is not a shame-based thing. If you can do it and not set your fucking world on fire or go to jail or rehab, run someone over, kill someone, kill yourself, and like your life doesn't fall apart, then I say go to town.
Right. Remember when we were with each other in January when I was like, I was like, yeah, I'm doing dry January. You're like, why? I was like, I don't know. I just feel like it'd be a nice little reset. And you're like, do you have a problem? I'm like, I don't think so. Like, and then I
Yeah.
told you how much I have to drink. And you're like, no, you do not have a problem. You're like, I don't know why anybody's doing dry January.
Dude, exactly. You're exactly like my wife. Sometimes she's like, well, maybe I should stop. I'm like, what? No. Why would you ever stop? Like if I didn't have to, I would have never stopped. Like that's terrible. I'm a huge fan of drugs, and I'm especially a huge fan of the way that drugs and alcohol make you feel. Like that was the
Yeah.
thing. I loved the effects of it, just like anyone else, right? So
Right.
anyway, with everything with me,
We are not,
I took it too
disclaimer,
far.
we're not saying you should go out and do drugs and alcohol.
No, well, especially, I mean, look, I haven't done them in 17 years. So
Right.
clearly,
Right. Well, you've seen how it is. I mean, they
I've seen
literally,
yes.
yes. Yeah.
Now,
They ruin
getting
people's lives.
sober,
Yeah.
so I went through these two worlds where it was like, we're helping the homeless. And all of a sudden, I didn't even realize this till recently, Tara. And that is that when I got in the mortgage business, I was essentially creating homelessness. And I didn't even realize it because that's what we were doing. I thought we were doing the American dream. This is amazing. People that are renting now own houses. This is the American dream. Plus, we're making tons of money. This must be perfect. I also thought everything I touched turns to gold. I didn't realize that the government had deregulated the financial system to a place that would melt the world down. I just thought, hey, this is beautiful. Think of all the people we're going to help.
Isn't that
So
wild that we even
it's
went
wild.
through that? I mean,
I didn't even
I
know what a
remember
mortgage was. Not really.
we were living in a neighborhood, like the houses were like $500,000.
Yep.
And there was like the rumors of going around the neighborhood of like, oh, they defaulted on their mortgage, but they can stay in their house now. Remember how there was like the thing where you could just stay in the house?
Yes.
And then people were filing bankruptcy. Like it was so wild that I think it's just crazy that ever happened. When you really think about how the financial institutions, which are supposed to be the bedrock of like good financial decisions,
Yep.
allowed like literally put so many people in shitty positions. But then the fact that people were dumb enough to be like, wait, this has to be too good to be true. Hey, it's Tara. And guess what? We are taking this show on the road. I am hitting the road for my Be Who You Came to Be book tour, and I could not be more excited. I have partnered with Kristen Cavallari's Uncommon James stores for an unforgettable experience. The first stop, Chicago on September 25th. P.S. Dallas and Nashville dates are going to be added soon, so stay tuned. Head on over to my website, snag your ticket, and be part of an incredible experience with the Be Who You Came to Be movement and Uncommon James.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, here's the thing. So the thing about it was death by 1,000 cuts. And so it was and the movies are pretty accurate. If you watch The Big Short plus Wolf of Wall Street, you kind of get the whole picture. But I bring all that up because that was a huge part of that was my first bottom. '08 was my first bottom. That was an alcohol and drugs bottom. 2017 was my second bottom, which was an emotional bottom out. And it wasn't until I went to a place called On-Site, which I ended up going 3 times during the divorce process. Because I was like trying to figure it out. Because I, like you, had been raised that like, divorce, that's a sin. And you just don't do it. And then other people are like, you're going to fuck your kids' lives up. And then other people are like, this is, I don't even know. Everybody came out the woodwork to tell me everything.
For the record, we never thought divorce was in. I mean, I feel like in the 90s, so I was in high school from like 90 to 95, like all my friends were from divorced families. I felt like everyone in the 90s got divorced.
Yeah, it was less rare where I was. Yes,
it was
and
less
no.
rare where you were. So where I lived, like I felt like everyone like was from like the shittiest word, a broken home. I'm like, will you stop calling it that? Like it is not broken. Like
broken home. Yes.
It's such a terrible thing to say. I was like, no, we are like yeah, I just.
So that's what happened is I realized that what I had been running from was this weird kid. I was doing all this stuff. They said
to like numb it, to not
and
do
I
that.
went through this amazing like what they call experiential therapy, and they did a couple different things where you like draw, and then one where each person in your little small 8-person group acts different things out. So like we call it sculpts, and it was like nothing I'd ever experienced. That. And on the second to last day of that first like experiential therapy where you couldn't say what you did for a living, no phones, no smoking, no drinking, no alcohol, nothing. Everything was just stripped away. It was so strong. And the second to last day, I realized, holy crap, this whole thing I've been missing in this endeavor of like seeking the why and everything else and what your purpose is, I was missing the weird. And so Love Your Weird was something that was in me for about 5 years before I ever even mentioned it at like in my body of work or on my talks or any of that stuff. Like now, people knew about it in my office because it actually was transformational for my work because I already had successful companies when that hit. And so we ended up having this incredible culture shift come as a result of this, which ended 3 years later with 60x growth and then this exit to a Fortune 500. So it's this wild thing that happened inside of my own companies around this idea of like, what is the power of being able to show up full tilt? You know, the same thing you're talking about with Be Who You Came to Be is it's about like, what's the power inside of it? And one of the things that I've really realized this year was that I thought I was on this Y kick. And then somebody told me 3 or 4 years ago at Impact 11, they're like, dude, you can't be the little Simon Sinek. And it hit me
I've
like,
never
oh,
thought, oh,
well, yeah, you're a sweetheart. This was a dude talking to me, right? And it was Clay. I don't know if you know Clay. Clay, great guy. He was just like, he knew about Love Your Weird. That's why he said it. He said he knew I was battling like, do I go full weird? Do I go Love Your Weird? Do I go all the way? And he was like, dude, yes. Like, don't be the little Simon Sinek. And the truth is, we created the Art of Why in like 2013, and that was right before Simon had blown up. And so now everybody talks about why. So it's white noise. And the fact is I was so glad he said that because then I was like, you know what? I'm the weird guy. And then all of a sudden it was blue sky. The only person competing with me was Yankovic, Weird Al. And he's not really in the keynote space. So I was like, nobody's even wanting to touch this weird thing, but everybody loves it. I'm like, okay, Love Your Weird. But still it was like, how does it get down to earth? Like what does it have to do with business? Because I had to figure that out. And I finally figured it out is that it's not just the weird. It's the why times the weird that unlocks an element that is everything now in my body of work, which is the genius that's trapped inside of each person. Because that, when put into a collective genius, can fuel something that I call the growth loop and can make it continuous where people aren't burning out, where they don't need extra momentum, where they are motivated by something deep inside of them coming out. But the nature in which you harness that genius, make it a collective, and then put it into a process that is evergreen or infinite, if you will, that is actually how any person or organization can become continuously growing without falling into what I call the stagnation spiral. So that's kind of the journey I had to get to, but it all starts with reconciling with who the fuck I was at 5. That's the wild part, And so what I've found is that there's the who you were at 5 years old before everybody told you to be something different is a window into who you came to be. Like straight up. Like if you're lost and you're trying to figure it out, it's like, well, I don't know who I came to be. I'm gonna tell you right now who you came to be. Okay. And it's a combination of 3 things. Okay. And those things are essentially your genius, which your genius is who you came to be. Straight the fuck up. Because if everybody's operating their genius, growth becomes inevitable, especially if you create a culture that's designed around honesty, curiosity, and radical collaboration. Plus everybody's coming with their genius, growth is fucking inevitable, right? So then a question comes, it's like, who did I come to be? What is my weird? Or who the fuck am I?
well, I think that,
Which I'm going to
the
answer that
letter,
question in a minute, but I need to let you talk for a minute.
you got to get a drink of water. What's really interesting is I had never really thought about this notion of be who you came to be until my grandmother wrote that letter to my son almost 2 decades ago now. And that was her life's advice to him for this. She was 87. She was a brilliant woman. She was an artist. She was an abstract artist. So she was definitely in that like weird, she was so creative and energetic and spiritual and woo woo. And in the 70s, she went and got her master's degree in art therapy, which women just did not do, especially in North Central Kansas. And then she worked in art therapy to help people, children and women predominantly deal with trauma, and like working with art to like, work through their emotions and their, authenticity and who they came to be. So when she wrote that letter, obviously, like as a mother, it took my breath away instantly. I was like, oh my God, be who you came to be. Immediately looking at this 1-week-old baby thinking like, who are you?
Your grandma or your mom? I thought it was
My
your grandma.
grandmother. It was
That's
my
right.
grandmother.
Okay.
Yes.
That's right.
But looking at this baby thinking like he's 1 week old, right? I mean, you've held a baby in your arms and you think, oh gosh, who
couple.
are you? And yeah. And who did you come to be?
One
And
too
what are you
many,
going
if
to
I'm
be
being
like?
honest.
And what are you going to be like? And I mean, and then you start thinking about as a parent that you get to watch a child grow up and like step into their authenticities and do all this stuff. So as a mother, it was this amazing guiding light that was like, okay, I have to help this child be who he came to be, not who I wanted him to be, not who his dad wanted to be, not who the world wanted to be, and to let him fumble and figure out and fail and achieve and what he likes and what he doesn't like. But what was really interesting was along the way of helping him do that, I really started to reflect on who I was and who I came to be. And I think that we get into like our late 20s, early 30s, we've checked all the boxes, right? Like go get a degree, find a partner, buy a house, make some money, have some kids. Like we start checking all the boxes.
Yeah, it's
and then we're like,
is when it starts
yeah.
to kick in.
And then we're like, is this it? Like, is this fucking it? Like, I feel like I've checked all the boxes. And why do I feel so uncomfortable with where I'm at in my life? Because I feel like I should have arrived, and that this is when, and no one has the advice, right? And so that's when I was like, wait a second. I went back to the Be Who You Came to Be note, and I was like, who did I come to be, and what does it truly mean to be who you came to be? And it really was, I mean, this same grandmother had told me once that she's like, I really believe that everyone's on this earth for a purpose, and when you fulfill that purpose, you get to move on to my grandmother believed in afterlife and second lives and reincarnation and all this stuff. Yeah. And so she was like, this is a journey along the way. Like this is, being on earth is you're here for a reason. She really believed that. And so I started really just thinking about who I came to be. And then I started sharing the message with people. And what was really interesting, Frankie, is when I would say to someone like, be who you came to be, it almost always gives them a lot of pause. Like they've never really thought, because people are like, be you, be yourself, be authentic. But when they actually think be who you came to be, it's like this, wow, okay, I was born and put on this universe for a reason. I was born with the weirdness and the authenticity and the gifts and the passions and the purpose. And somewhere along the way, we water ourselves down, we dilute ourselves, we play small, and we step so far away from the actual core of the person that we are in our heart of hearts. And that's why the message has caught so much traction, I think, is because people, just like what you talk about, is like we have tried to conform to society and what society wants. And I think even more so in the last 10 years with cancel culture and just everything about our society of like, be this way, don't be this way. Everything's gotten so loud, so noisy. The internet of, tearing people down and building people, certain people up. And it's wild if you think about, how people have really been afraid to step into their weirdness, into their authenticity. And here's the thing, like, why did it suddenly be like, where did we get in society where we had to be like, you have to be for fucking everyone, which ultimately is cancel culture, right? So it was like, God forbid, you just don't like the person or you don't really like what they're at. Fine, they're not for you. Like you're not one of their raving fans. Move on. But this is why we started to dilute ourselves down, because we have this deep need for acceptance and worry that we're not enough, we don't fit in, maybe we're not thinking the right things, maybe we're not doing the right things, wearing the right things, maybe we're not the right weight. I mean, you think about all the societal pressures on adults specifically. I mean, kids, yes, but those don't end. And so it's just been a really magical thing to empower people with be who you came to be. This is why I love the, own your weird, because that is such a component of being who we came to be. Is like, I mean, inside of all of us is this total freaking weirdo that is absolutely amazing. I grew up, I told you I was a theater and voice major. I've been around a lot of musicians. The best musicians, they're weird as hell. They are as weird as the day is long. And they have to be, because that's how they've gotten good at music, selling music, writing music, because they are owning exactly who they are.
Yeah, and it's so let's get this out of the way. I probably should have said this earlier. The weird I'm talking about is the OG weird. Okay, so part of this is like that weird kid you were and we're gonna get into that here in a second, and we're gonna take yours, Tara.
Okay.
We're about to unlock your genius, so you're welcome. But here's the deal. I found out this shit by accident because you know how Love Your Weird came from in some weird codependent camp that an alcoholic had like barged into after a divorce. Okay, so they paint the picture there.
Yeah.
So
You
that's
need like a movie written about you. I'm telling you.
yeah,
right now.
whatever. Well, wait till I die. Anyway, if I die soon, get Nicky Cage to do it. All right. Okay. So here's the deal. That's what we rank. Me and Matt Immersion, my bestie in the biz.
That's who's gonna play you, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, we talk about
do way better than
I
that.
rank how I did on a talk on like a 1 to 10 on how much Cage ranking we got. So yeah, so Nicky Cage, he always knows. He's the one who figured it out. It's the fucking Cagester. So anyway, long story short. Okay. Made me lose my train of thought. Okay, so Love Your Weird came from all that fun divorce camp stuff. The fact is, I accidentally stumbled on the truth about weird. Okay, the original word weird. First of all, it is not spelled the way we spell it. It was spelled WYRD.
Okay.
Okay, fun fact. Here's the other fun fact. Shakespeare's the one who made it into the weird we know when he made those witches, the weird sisters. All of a sudden now weird is odd. It's different. They're outcasts. We don't want to be that. Maybe we burn them at the stake. I don't know. So if you're weird, it's like, whoa, I don't want to be one of them weird sisters because we know how that turned out. So Shakespeare kind of fucked that up. But before Shakespeare fucked it up, bless his heart.
Damn it, Billy.
Bill did so much good stuff for us. So here's the thing. Before that happened, the Old English meaning was the power to control or influence your fate, destiny, and my personal favorite, supernatural qualities.
Okay.
What
WYRD?
Yes. And if people knew what the fuck that word was, my Love Your Weird stuff would be Love Your WYRD. Okay, so WYRD is weird with a Y, which is interesting. So you're thinking, yeah, it's actually literally weird with a Y. But check this out. When I started to realize that it's the combination of the two, the why, what you came to be, the calling, plus the weird is where your genius really starts to come alive. And so for me, I started, because that supernatural qualities, you start thinking of weird as like supernatural qualities or your genius. All of a sudden, weird just got really fucking cool. And it didn't just get cool because I like to be quirky. And I want to be able to be quirky with everyone. Yeah, we got all that. Or like piercings. Got it. Blue hair. Got it. I'm multiple.
Do you have piercings?
No, I'm just saying I'm welcoming everyone to the conversation.
Okay.
Transsexuals, everybody, let's go. That's anything that people think is weird. I'm here for all that shit. But the fact is, looking weird is not even a factor. It's welcomed. Everybody has permission for it. Let's fucking rock and roll. But you don't have to look weird to love your weird. That's number one. Because the weird I'm talking about is that supernatural quality, that genius that's trapped inside of you. So then it becomes, how the fuck do I get that out? Here we go again. How do I get that out? So
and being comfortable with that.
Fuck comfort. You're not going to get comfortable with it. You're going to be uncomfortable with it. You're going to get that out because it's gonna
but
fly
being
out.
comfortable that it's uncomfortable and that comfortable with what other people think or whatever.
Like
you're
gonna have to find coping mechanisms to stay comfortable with it, but you're not gonna care. If you do this right, you won't give a shit. Because it's gonna feel so good. This shit that I'm talking to you about right now has become my limitless drug. So you didn't ask me how I stayed sober for 17 years.
That and Red Bull.
Yeah. I don't even have a Red Bull. I'm fucking smart water right now. I haven't even had a Red Bull yet. So Red Bull just takes it to full 11 cage. Impact 11 cage. Cage style. So anyway, so here's the thing. Getting sober, staying sober, two different things. I want to address this real quick, and then we're gonna pull out your genius right in front of everybody. So real quick, a lot of people get confused on this. A lot of my friends relapsed. A lot of my friends have died. A lot of people that are listening, their friends and family just can't fucking figure it out. And I'm going to tell you right now, super fucking simple. It's very simple. Getting sober, anybody can do. All it takes is a dumpster fire happening in your life, and I'm scared, so I'm going to try it, right? You can get sober all the time. Staying sober for a long period of time, I've only seen it happen one way. Either they're not really an alcoholic drug addict, or they are, and they made a decision to, on the very, very reg, I'm talking pretty much every day, help somebody else get sober. The only way to stay sober is to help somebody else get sober. It's why I've sponsored probably 300 plus people, like straight up. And I've done that not because I'm a saint. Okay. I did that because I liked the effects of doing it.
Right.
I found
It
out
was like a
there's
dopamine hit
Yes,
for you.
it's called the helper side. I found out later there's actual science. The same shit in your brain gets like explodes or released or whatever that when I do drugs and alcohol as when I help someone unconditionally. Now, the hard part is helping someone unconditionally, meaning because there's almost always a condition. Family, there's a condition. Work, there's a condition. It's hard to find people you can help unconditionally, but I found it in recovery. I found that. And so, like, a lot of my awakening as an adult has happened from that. I mean, most of my books, if you read my books and you're in the program, like, you freaking can tell. Because I realized this shit's so good. It's everything that the church and all of that wants to be, but just can't quite get there. Because at the end of the day, the point of the whole church to begin with, before they killed Jesus, was, to help the poor. That's the only thing he cared about. That's why they were so confused. That's why they killed him. Because he only wanted to hang out with hookers and tax collectors and poor people and homeless people and like dirty people. It's like, this is our king? Get the fuck out of here. And they killed him, right? And they'd kill him again. Because who's helping the poor? It's like, we're not even talking about it. It's just like, hey, are we filling seats? Are we getting the ties and all this other stuff? No, I'm not going to get on that rant. But I will tell you there's a there. Because I believe that all of us, if we want to be who we came to be, that's maximum usefulness to other people. That's who we came here to be. The question becomes, which people, right? The universal who we all came to be is to be of maximum usefulness to the people around us. That is
I believe that. That's why I do what I do.
That's right. The question then becomes who? Because that matters.
Hey, it's Tara here, and I've got some big news. My brand new second edition Be Who You Came to Be book is finally here. It is loaded with new secrets, new stories, and emotional intelligence tips designed to help you create, own, and live the life that each and every one of you deserve and desire. You don't need another self-help book. You need a roadmap to bring you back to exactly who it is that you came to be. The book has a fresh new look. It has this beautiful wrap cover on it. However, hiding underneath it is that original gold foil and ivory cover designed to sit on your coffee table to inspire you daily to go all in on exactly who it is that you came to be. In addition to the book, yes, I've updated the journal too, and I am obsessed. The journal is full of quotes, of prompts, and places for your wildly positive affirmations. You can head over to my website to pre-order your copy on Amazon, or as an insider, you can snag one today. This isn't just a book, it is your guide to being exactly who it is that you came to be.
Who I come to help matters. So step one, I only help people that ask. That's number one. I'm helping people that ask. Number two, I'm helping people that I have a similar experience with. All right. So now we're going to get to the why for a minute. So a lot of people will try to make why this big, ambiguous thing. They try to make it this big whole thing, like it's the whole thing. It's not. It's half the thing. Why is just simply why they call you. Like, what are you an expert at? So let's go, Tara. What are you an expert at?
I am an expert in emotional intelligence and helping people with their self-regard, their self-acceptance, and really having pride in how they show up in life and how they approach their work and relationships so that they can continue to evolve, continue to grow, and be exactly who they were put on this earth to be.
Okay, so you're an expert at helping people evolve. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, grow, change, and evolve. This notion of being who you came to be is like we're never going to arrive. We have to keep giving ourselves permission to change and to grow, and that's hard.
Are you an expert in change?
Oh,
I know you don't like to be pigeonholed into this, but I want you to just tell me.
I would say more of like an expert in self-regard and ownership of who we are.
So what you're describing, this is what a lot of people do. You're describing a little bit more of your weird, and I just want to know why someone would call you. So let me frame this up for you. Okay, I'm the CEO of Microsoft.
Okay.
All right, I'm a CEO of Microsoft, and shit's not going great. Yep. All right, I'm in my big kingdom. Shit's not going great. This quarter, not looking great.
Right.
I don't know about this OpenAI $10 billion investment. People are talking funny about old Bill. Things are not great. I'm up at night. Now I'm up at night, and all of a sudden a horse shows up outside the Microsoft kingdom. It's a beautiful horse. If that horse is your horse, Tara, What does it say on the outside for me, who's the king of Microsoft, who's staying up at night wondering how the fuck we're going to save this shit? What's the outside of your horse say?
Well, obviously it would say be who you came to be, but it
No.
would say you need your people to be who they came to be if you want to continue to innovate and evolve. Like you need them to be able to bring their full selves, exactly who they are.
You just said too many words. This is what I want you to say. Pick it. Is it innovate? Is it change? Which one is it? Give me the outside on like why I'm going to pull that in. This is big, Tara. This is big.
This is big because I like the word innovate. I like the word culture. I think that like a culture shift is something that happens when I speak. Innovation, authenticity, but I feel like that's overused.
What's the end
People
game?
don't really understand what it is.
Check it out. Let's just say it is innovation.
Okay.
If you have innovation, what happens next at Microsoft?
Growth. New ideas, new products.
Okay.
Continue to evolve.
It's not immediate growth. Like
revenue.
Everybody likes to growth. So,
right.
So new products, and then when you have new products, what happens?
Revenue goes up often.
Why? Where's the revenue come from?
Consumers.
Customers.
Buying.
Right.
Customers, they want new, flashy, fun. Yeah.
Attraction. The more customers are attracted, revenue goes up, you grow, and then what happens when they grow?
When Microsoft grows,
yeah,
shareholders make more money.
And what happens when shareholders make more money?
They go out and buy more shit.
And when they buy more shit, what happens?
They realize they don't need all the shit that they just bought.
Okay.
And they're like, maybe this wasn't everything it was cracked up to be.
I didn't realize you were in the business of like creating this circle jerk of shit buying for stockholders. Interesting, Terry. We're uncovering some stuff. All right. So, but check it out. So, but tell me about what you did in the last 25 years. I'm putting you on the spot here, but it's for a good cause. In the last 25 years, tell me about your resume besides speaking, or it could be just speaking, but like what is, if you had to boil it down to like, you're an expert at something besides the goodies that are inside the horse. You're about to get an opportunity to paint the picture what's inside the horse, Tara, and you're going to have so much fun with that. I can already tell.
Okay.
But we got to get that fucking horse in the kingdom, and they got to go to bed, and then all your beautiful Be You Came to Be Oompa Loompas are going to come out and take that fucking city. I can already feel it. It's coming. But we got to get that horse in there. So, but Tara is an expert at something, and she's not just a great speaker, right? And she's not just this person that knows about EQ. She actually has done the work with X doing at Y. Mm-hmm. How would I finish that sentence?
I don't know. You are. I'm flummoxed. Okay, a couple things. One, I actually am a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. I'm really good at selling.
Tell me more. What did you sell? What have you sold in the past? Cutco. What are we dealing with here?
Well, I'm an idea seller from the beginning. I just always have been the person who's like wildly convincing.
And you've done that for a long time, you're saying.
And I worked in corporate. I worked in sales leadership. I ran multi-million-dollar sales teams. I led the leaders. I've sold jewelry. I mean, even now, like I've constantly like, I'm selling books. I'm selling.
Let me
Stanley
stop you
cups.
right
I like
there,
to have all this
okay,
stuff.
I'm going to stop you right there. I've been your friend for a long time, and I never fucking knew that.
Oh, you didn't?
No, and let me tell you something else. I'm right there next to you, right?
I never am like, oh, Tara's a salesperson.
Tara, Tara, I'm gonna tell you right now. This is how you're leaving money on the table. This is 100% how you're leaving money on the table because we're not seeing Tara as that, but Tara is that. So here's the deal. All right, now I'm the king of Microsoft. I look out and I see sales transformation. I see growth in revenue from sales. Now, you think I'm going to pull that fucking horse in?
Absolutely.
Yes, I fucking am going to pull that horse in because that could make a difference on the third quarter. That could make a difference on the year. That could make a difference on the stocks. That could make a difference. Mm-hmm. The outside of the horse is where everybody's getting mixed up. You're painting the outside of the horse with the weird. It's like, no. That's why like, when you get to my side, it don't say love your weird until you go 14 folds down because I'm not here. Because Microsoft cares about love your weird, I know how to take a Fortune 500 from a stagnation spiral into continuous growth. I've done it. I'll do it again. That's what I do. That's right. That's what I do. I actually did business growth. That was the fastest growing company in Louisiana, blah, blah, blah. You know my resume. That's why they're bringing the horse in. I don't put love your weird on the outside of that shit. fuck would you pull that horse in for? You know what I'm saying? What? No, but and I don't even put your collective genius. I put, do you want to unlock growth throughout your organization and get out of fucking stagnation? Every company wants that. Do you want sales transformation? Do you want to fucking grow sales revenue from sales? Of course they do, Tara. Here's what, so that's actually your why. It's boring. The why is the boring part. Okay.
Right.
We try to make it the sexy part. No. Why do I call Tara? Listen, dude, you're not doing well right now. You need sales transformation and you're doing it backwards, because here comes the fun part. Which is Tara's weird. Because what Tara has figured out over the course of her career, working with other companies, being inside of companies, having her own company, is that there's a key. And on the side of that key is a word or a couple of words. And that key is this unsuspecting unlock for sales transformation.
Right.
For growing sales revenue again. It's a key you're not expecting. Mm-hmm. That key is your weird. And that key, where that intersects with sales transformation or revenue growth or whatever you want to call it, Tara,
right,
that intersection is your fucking genius.
Yeah.
Because what you found is that at the intersection of sales transformation and being who you came to be, at that intersection is Tara's genius. And when you operate in that space, your whole body comes outside of your physical, and you go into some sort of trance with everyone in the room, and something's happening, a movement's happening. But the guy, the king, the girl, the king, whoever the king, them, the king, needs to know in the desperate times. We are going into a time, machines, tech, is changing everything. Mm-hmm. We are at a time where capitalism is at an all-time peak, and humans cannot be the bottom line anymore. Humans will be the collateral damage. They will be, unless we, Tara, who we came to be, me and you, is to help translate this shit to the king. That's our job. And we have to show him how not only can he have the revenue and make that continuous and sustainable, but he can also not have dead bodies. And it's going to be sustainable because we don't have the dead bodies.
Right.
This shit's the new world of work. This is the new world of work. This is what we're a part of. This is who you fucking came to be, because you're now showing something fucking magical, something genius. Because no one's thinking that the intersection of real sales fucking transformation is be who you came to be. That's all you.
Right. And it's not just, and you know what, you are very
You get where I'm going. You're going to give me a better why than sales transformation. I know you will.
No, it's not just sales transformation. You're right though. It is innovation. It is the belonging. It is retention. It's also, though, I think for so many people personally, is just, again, that self-regard that I think so many people are like, oh my God, you could help me with my self-regard and how I feel about myself. Yeah, I actually can make you feel like you are. Yes. So it just depends on the audience.
But the gold.
But you know what? You're actually right, because I have been thinking lately, I've been like, I really need to be doing a lot more SKOs, a lot more sales stuff. And it's all about the framing of it.
Well, it's not just the framing, Tara. It's about your experience. Like you actually have this experience and you do what I did. We all do it. We go on this journey and we're like, that was an amazing part of our lives. And now I'm doing something meaningful. Now I'm helping people get out of shame, get into belonging, and unlock their full innovation at this conference. And we'll see you after lunch, everybody. Thank you so much. Here's the QR code. Okay, so that's who and look, it's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. But like, where are we going? Where are we going? And how are we going to go deeper? And if we do it together, because I believe that you, me, and some of our friends together can create what would essentially be the Avengers and can take down Thanos, but not by ourselves.
I love this.
And you might have shit coming out. Oh yeah, girl, don't call me for a podcast. You may have shit coming out of your hand. I may have a jetpack. We have different superpowers. Together and only together can we help change the way that the system works. But think about it. If me, you, and 300 of our friends are all of the voices at all of the conferences, in all of the boardrooms, and we all have one thing in common, is that we want to show up and show people the new world of work, a new way to show up in capitalism where humanity is the bottom line. But they need a translator, and we're it. We're the one. And so that's the beauty of this. And that's what I've realized is that if everybody figures out, because you want to talk about battle cry, it's that genius. That is it. Because for me, it's like, look, a lot of people talk about growth and organizational growth, but not that many people talk about the intersection of growth and the collective genius. They don't. So I know my category. And I know that the only way you're going to unlock your genius is if you love your fucking weird. And I know you're only going to love your weird if you figure out what the fuck you were into at 5 and give yourself permission to let that come out again.
Right.
That's what,
right.
Literally that king's 5-year-old self and all of his friends' 5-year-old self has to do with the third quarter slaughter on the revenue and the stocks, which is fucking not what they're thinking.
Right. Right.
But it's the truth.
Well, I do feel like there has been a shift. I'm sure that you see this too, in like what companies, what events wanted to someone to come in and talk to their people, right? Like it was so buttoned up, so corporate. We don't want this. We don't want anything abstract, like God forbid. Or the notion of like, be who you came to be. Well, do you think they'll leave the organization if you tell them to be who they came to be? Like, well, do you really fucking want them at your company?
Exactly.
If they come to the thing and be like, I actually fucking hate it here and I want to leave.
Hopefully
like,
they
I
do.
actually want to do you a favor. Now, I would never tell anyone to leave their organization. It's not part of my thing. But if that is the employee's realization is that they're not at the right place, like that actually is saving the organization a ton of money because all that person's doing is bringing down the culture. They're not aligned. Right.
Pay people to leave.
Yes. And so it's interesting. And I think it is why me and you have both had this like great little run over the last, really since the pandemic, is that people and organizations realize that like a sales tactic, a customer service keynote, quote unquote, the future of work, like these things that are they can be boxed up good. They're safe as hell,
That's
right?
it.
Like no one's going to leave there and be like, oh, that sucked, but they're not going to go and make sustainable change in their life. Like I actually wish we could do a survey on this. We should actually try to figure out how to do it. Is how many times do people go to a conference and they hear a keynote speaker, but I mean, I know this has happened to you. I'm like, well, who spoke? And they're like, I don't know. He was good. What did he talk about? Sales. Well, what did you learn from it?
Trust.
Yeah, like, but they really can't remember. There was not like a major takeaway. And a year later, they have no clue what they heard. And really even a week later, they're not going back and talking about it with their families.
I don't think anybody's ever not remembered.
You?
Yeah, you may hate my talk, but you remember. Yeah, you can love it, you can hate it, but the only thing you can't do is ignore it.
I think that, right. I think
go.
that my talk also falls into that, like, not what they were expecting.
Yes, and it
just
better.
highly relatable.
If
Like, because
you're
they're
a
like,
great
oh my God.
keynote speaker, that's exactly what you do. That's the cool thing for you, Tara. Is like, all we're talking about with you is a little positioning type stuff. You already know the goods. You know at the heart of this, it can do these things.
I have to tell you, Frankie, I actually love today's show for a million reasons. One, this has been just one of the most fun hours I've ever had on the show ever, and really just in general. I'm a big
go back
fan
and
of
see
yours.
if you say that to everybody.
I don't. I'm a big fan of yours. I always have been from the minute I met you. You're just like this bolt of electricity, and you're just like, every time I'm around you, I feel like I can 100% be myself. Like I feel free to say what I want to say, whether you would agree with it or not.
Yes.
I could say anything, and I feel safe with you, which I think it's a really great quality for people to have. Like you're one of those people that I'm sure people just tell you stuff all the time. Like I'm one of those people that I'll be at like, at a grocery store and someone will come up to me and they start telling me about their life story.
Yeah.
And my husband's like, why does this happen? I'm like, I don't know.
And
It's
they're
my
like,
aura.
how many times have you heard this? You're the first person I've ever told that to.
Yes.
I have heard that a lot. I'm like,
yes, I know.
Okay, we can get through this.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about this.
Exactly. But we have one final question, the question I always ask, and then I want you to tell everyone where they can find you, how they can hire you, all that. But what does, I know you're all about finding your word, but when I say to you, be who you came to be, what does that mean to you, especially in this season of your life?
All right. For me, be who I came to be is right now, it's about going beyond, like, I came to help others and, like, help them find freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it's not beyond that. It's that. But I'm constantly evaluating. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, recently I went to Kansas City in February. Sorry, didn't know you lived there at the time, or forgot, or some shit, and didn't tell you.
It was
felt
snowing.
terrible. I really apologize. I shouldn't have brought this up. But anyway, this is when it happened. I'm sitting there talking to my work husband, Matt Immersion, came up again. Look him up, everybody. He's a real fun guy. But talking to him, I'm like, why am I doing an AI masterclass? And I know why, because it's like, oh, I was in AI and blah, blah, blah. And like, I was early adopter and I was a machine learning and I did all that and sold it and blah, blah, blah. So I mean, it's not that I shouldn't be doing it, but like, why am I doing it? Like, why the fuck am I here? Right. And because I'm like, I know my calling is beyond a fucking AI talk.
Right.
And what I realized was that and this has been my journey right now, is who I came to be and why I came and why I'm willing to talk about AI. Is because I genuinely care about people not being left behind. Mm-hmm. Like, that is a true thing. I don't want humans to be left behind, and they 100% are about to be.
Yeah,
and
it is terrifying when you start thinking about like blue-collar workers specifically.
No, white-collar workers.
Yeah, but you have to. I'm talking about like manufacturing, like all those jobs could be potentially eliminated, and that is going to be a lost community.
Yes, but I would be at least as worried about white collar jobs. Let's not.
I know you're right.
I'm not going to get off on that one. Yes. We'll do a whole nother master.
There's a whole nother show.
But I will tell you, for me right now, being who I came here to be is like every single day, every room. Am I fulfilling my calling here, or am I checking a box for a check? And I refuse to check a box for a check. And it's not because I don't need checks. It's because I absolutely have been doing this too long to ever spend one day not either helping people get set free, love their weird, walk in their genius, and not be left behind. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. You know, I'm the speaker who, you know, breaks the rules and says yes to below fee offers because I fall in love with the audience.
Want that on tape?
Yeah, I mean, I'm being transparently honest because you know why?
I mean, we all do it, but I don't put it on tape. I guess I just did, but
because there's certain audiences that I'm like, they need this message. They need my message. They need this.
100%.
And
that's right.
I am like, why would I not go over $1,000 or $5,000 or whatever it is? Like, it's so. It actually starts to piss me off when people in this industry were like, well, I couldn't come to the talk at a high school because you don't have the money. It's like, send me to the high school. That is an audience I want to talk to because I can make sustainable, meaningful change. And it's why I do what I do. I don't do it for the paycheck. Actually, I'm a terrible business person. Terrible business person.
Well, announcing your discount on the front end. Yeah. I don't even
this
know
was
if you're
the back end.
You're either the most genius salesperson I've ever seen or the worst one. I don't know. I can't tell.
I don't usually, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, especially nonprofits, like you could laugh all you want.
No, I'm laughing because of how you're saying it. I'm not laughing that you're doing discounts. Are you kidding me? Like that's part of the deal.
Not, I don't even. It's not a discount. It's like
what do they call that? It's pro bono. You're talking about pro bono.
Yeah.
She's not talking about discounting for you, Microsoft King.
Yeah, exactly. And there's
if your AI hashtags got to the Microsoft King inbox, you don't get the discount. This is for nonprofits. Company,
yes, 100. That's what I'm talking about. Those types of audiences that are like, hey, these people need this message, and like it's why I do what I do because it is heart focused.
It's a mission. It is. Yeah, I always tell people that being a keynote speaker, if you're doing it right, you're somewhere between a missionary and a rock star.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, how do people find you? Everyone's going to want to connect with you. Your following is going to go up massively.
Oh my God, like millions of followers.
Get ready.
If you want to find me, just go to your favorite LLM and ask them. Do you know what an LLM is, Tara?
No.
Oh my God, Jesus, take the wheel. LLM is a large language model. You have it in your pocket. It's ChatGPT. It's Claude. Oh. Grok, DeepSeek.
I was like, MLM? I didn't know that.
Ask your favorite Claude. Ask your favorite one, y'all. That's how you find me. Go ask your favorite one. How to find Frankie
Russo.
Yeah, just ask AI.
That's Frankie, just so you know.
Yep. And Russo.
They're all going to get in there, and their chat's going to come back and be like, who the fuck is Frankie Russo?
Yeah, that's it.
Kidding.
In fact, I'd like for that to be your prompt. Who the fuck is Frankie Russo? It's IE and then Russo like the mob. RUSSO.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love
Make
it.
that your prompt. Who the fuck is Frankie Russo? Hashtag.
I have loved having you on the show. You are so fun, an amazing human being, and just a true joy. And you know what? You helped me today, and I appreciate that. So keep shining your light.
Tara. That's
right.
my first wave of helping you. We got more work to do. It's a summer.
Okay.
All right.
All right, folks. Thanks so much for listening. Keep shining, love your weird, and be who you came to be.